Welcome back to Hannity from Washington, D.C. Donald Trump and Dr. Benjamin Carson, they're neck and neck in the latest Fox News national poll. Now, Trump leads with 24%, but Dr. Carson is right behind with 23%. And here's what Trump had to say about Dr. Carson last night. Take a look.
He's been very nice to me, very respectful and nice, and I've also been very nice to him. We have so far gotten along very well. Every once in a while I want him to say something bad so I can go after him, but he's been so nice I can't do that.
All right, here with reaction, the author of the brand new book, A More Perfect Union, What We, the People, Can Do to Reclaim Our Constitutional Liberties, 2016 Republican presidential candidate Dr. Benjamin Carson. I don't know if that's an invitation to attack Donald Trump, or maybe Donald Trump is hoping you attack him. How do you take that?
I take it as quite humorous. You know, it's going to be waiting a long time if he's waiting for me to attack him, because, you know, we have such huge problems in this country right now, and I'm really going to be focusing my attention on that. And that was the reason that I wasn't all that animated in the last CNN debate, because it was all about, you know, here's my dog, sick him, you know, that kind of stuff is foolishness as far as I'm concerned.
But isn't it a debate an opportunity when they do get to you to really lay out your plans, your ideas, your visions, and differentiate yourself from the other candidates?
And that's the kind of debate that I'm looking forward to. And hopefully, as time goes on, we will get into substance and real solutions. That's what I want to look forward to.
All right, I want to go to the Democratic debate the other night, and the question came up, do Black lives matter or do all lives matter? And I want you to watch the answer.
Do Black lives matter or do all lives matter? Let's put that question to Senator Sanders.
Black lives matter. And the reason those words matter is the African American community knows that on any given day, some innocent person like Sandra Bland can get into a car, and then 3 days later she's going to end up dead in jail.
The point that the Black Lives Matter movement is making is a very, very legitimate and serious point. And that is that as a nation, we have undervalued the lives of Black lives, people of color.
We need a new deal for communities of color.
Senator Webb?
And 4 of the 5 agreed that they would choose Black Lives Matter. Now, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but why do I believe that every single life matters? Dr. Carson, you're a physician.
You, like me, believe that this is the United States of America, not the divided States of America. And we should be looking at how do we take all of our people into consideration. This is a very serious issue. We only have 330 million people. China, India have more than 1 billion people. It means we need to develop all of our people. We need to get the most bang for the buck out of all of our people. And our policies should be aimed at promoting everyone, getting a good education, providing the right kind of opportunities. It strengthens us. It strengthens the fabric of our country. That's what we need to be worried about, not how we divide ourselves up into little special groups.
Is that a racist comment?
Which one?
Black Lives Matter. When you're given a choice, do Black Lives Matter, do all lives matter, and you pick one race, is that racist?
Well, I believe that the people who started that thought that they were doing something good. I hope that they will reassess and think more globally. You know, I have, gone on record talking about, particularly in the Black community, if you're really going to be concerned about the lives, let's talk about the abortions, the #1 cause of death in the Black community. And let's talk about the homicides. And let's talk about all of it. But more importantly, as a whole society, let's talk about the values and principles that made us into a great nation. And let's talk about the compassion that we have for each other and what we can do to strengthen ourselves. You know, we have global jihadists who want to come in here and destroy us and our way of life. The last thing we need to do is to pit ourselves against each other, get into our respective corners, and throw hand grenades at each other. This is absolutely the wrong way to be going right now.
Let me ask you then specifically, because if you look at minority communities all across America, they have been disproportionately negatively impacted by the policies of President Obama now the last 7 years. That means more are in poverty, more are unemployed, more out of the labor force. So my question to you is, how do you get these people that are using food stamps, getting food stamps, in poverty, out of work, not even counted anymore by the government? What is your plan specifically to get these people back into the mainstream of society and contributing and prospering and succeeding and bringing their talents to fruition?
Well, we have to understand what are the forces that are keeping people down. You know, we have the most powerful economic engine that the world has ever known, but it's very difficult for that engine to operate with so many regulations. It wasn't meant that the government would be into every aspect of our lives and controlling everything. They need to go back and read the Constitution. They need to read, you know, my book, you know, A More Perfect Union, and find out what the duties of the government are. But every one of those regulations cost us in terms of goods and services. But it hurts poor people and middle-class people much more than it does wealthy people. You know, quite frankly, Sean, you and I, if we go to the store and the box of detergent has gone up 30 cents, it doesn't affect us. But it affects someone who is poor, and affects a middle-class person who has a big shopping cart full of multiple things that have gone up 30 cents. So, you know, we need to be thinking about that kind of thing. We also need to be looking at the national debt. This administration has driven the national debt to unsustainable levels. That national debt has a deleterious effect on us because the Fed is stuck. They can't really raise the interest rates because the debt service is just much too high if you raise the interest rates to a normal level. And poor people and middle-class people have no good mechanism for increasing their earnings like they used to because of that. Also, banks are not incentivized to make loans to small people. And where does your business go? You know, this is I'm just scratching the surface, but, you know, the fact of the matter is, the right kind of policies, getting things moving again, we don't need to divide ourselves up. We need to make a situation available so that everybody can climb out of that pit of dependency and become part of the fabric and success of America.
Let me ask you one last question, because I assume there's a correlation between your rise in the polls and the level of attacks that have been coming your way. And very specifically, you performed as a medical doctor 15,000 plus surgeries. You consulted on thousands of others. There were 6 cases in which you were sued. And a big story that they're trying to turn into a headline is you left a sponge in some person's brain. And I wanted to give you a chance to explain to people the truth of that. And number 2, the level of experience that you had and the types of surgeries you performed.
Well, you know, there is a certain type of operation that we do call the microvascular decompression, and we put these little micro sponges in between the vessels and the nerve to keep the vessel from pounding on the nerve, and that generally alleviates the pain. Sometimes people react to the sponges. Very, very rare. In that particular case, there was a reaction to it. You know, there's nothing you can do about that, except obviously if it's causing problems, to remove it. And, you know, this is a desperate attempt. It's just a desperate attempt to find some dirt.
All right, Dr. Carson, always good to see you. Thank you for being with us, sir.